we got a cool one for you. We got a horror discussion. So basically, the floor is open to you guys. We just got back from Alien Romulus. So on this episode, we're going to be doing discussion on sequels, prequels.
What about remakes?
Yeah, I guess we can throw remakes in there.
Because that's technically a remake of number 3.
And what we thought of Alien Romulus. We'll start there, I guess, before we dive into the sequels and the prequels. The action was okay. The pace was very slow. Slower than a sloth. It was a very slow-paced film. The alien creatures looked really cool, as they were all done animatronically. They were all actually handmade for the film, which I really like. I do prefer practical effects over the CGI effects, so there was a lot of cool practical effects for this movie, which I really enjoyed. I'm a fan of Fede Alvarez. I'm not sure if he was the right one to redo Alien, as I had super high hopes for it. Overall, I'm not going to spoil much of the movie because you guys have to go and see it. It was an early showing for us to go and see it today. So overall, I'd give it a solid 7.
Yeah.
7 out of 10. It is a good Alien movie. So if you're looking for a good Alien movie, it is a good Alien movie.
If you're looking for great.
The problem is it's not a great Alien movie. With all the ones that are out there, I mean, if you're going to compare it to the original one, obviously the first and second one definitely blow it out of the water. Aliens 1 and 2 are probably the top 2 for Alien, the franchise. Covenant probably being the worst. Prometheus being equally as bad as Covenant.
I haven't seen either, so I can't say.
But while we're diving in sequels and stuff before we dig into more, like, it kind of feels the same as like what they did with Terminator. Like everything after basically T2, which was probably, in my opinion, the best entry in the film series was T2, was the best one. Everything after T2 was terrible. T3 was bad. Like the fourth one after that was bad. The fifth one was bad. Like they just failed to keep the same.
The new one was good.
Consistency of the second one.
The new one was good though. When I went back, it was good. I've only seen 1, 2, and 3. I didn't see any others. Not even Bales.
Yeah, those were all bad. A lot of films sadly run into that. Friday the 13th ran into that too. Obviously the first one is great. The second one's good. Third one's not bad. Fourth one is probably my second favorite. If I'm going off the Friday the 13th ones. Part 4 is probably my second favorite. Part 1, obviously, my favorite one. 7 was where it started to falter and fall apart. Was 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 being probably the worst.
Don't forget Freddy vs. Jason.
Before they did Freddy vs. Jason, which, touching on Freddy vs. Jason, I believe it's today that we celebrate 21 years of Freddy vs. Jason.
That's not shocking, but it is.
21 years ago, Freddy vs. Jason came out, and it was a huge hit when it did come out back then.
So would you put this Alien film up there with Scream
4?
Scream 4, we're talking horror.
Scream 4 was bad. Scream 3 was bad. It wasn't that bad. Like, Scream 4 and 3 probably definitely take the cake for the Scream franchise, because they were the worst in the franchise. 1 and 2 were great. The new ones have been pretty good, too, with the Jenna Ortega. I'm definitely intrigued with Scream 7. Is probably one of the ones that I'm most looking forward to, is the newest one with Nev Campbell returning to the franchise.
Should I be scared to what you're looking for now? Because should I be scared? A shark movie? And now this one. We're sinking here. We're sinking.
Yeah, horror's been in a bad state. Sadly, Longlegs saved it for a little while. Longlegs was a really solid movie. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch Longlegs, I highly recommend going to see Longlegs in the theaters. It is probably the absolute best performance of Nicolas Cage's career so far in the horror genre. He is absolutely amazing in that movie. Steals the show. It is phenomenal. Definitely, so far, my top horror movie for 2024 is definitely probably going to be Longlegs, as it's one of the ones I look forward to the most this year. And it blew my expectations out of the water for that one.
Longlegs and Maxine for me.
Maxine was also another really solid one that kind of blew me away and exceeded expectations.
And that's probably been the good. It hasn't been much good horror, sadly, this year. I'm talking basically to him because I don't know much. I'm not a big horror nut. I'm superhero. Obviously, I'm showing that I am. No, horror to me, basically Maxine and Longlegs were the best 2 we've seen in a long time. Everything else has been like this, like a roller coaster going down, where the other 2 have gone up. I'm worried when his next anticipated film is. I'm jokingly scared.
The next anticipated one, guys,
For me,
is coming from the guys that make the Terrifier. They have a brand new movie coming out, guys, in theaters next week called Scream, starring Bill Moseley, Daniel Harris, Jeffrey Combs, Tony Todd, David Howard Thornton. Special effects will be produced and done by Damien Leone. So if you're big fans of the Terrifier and you want to check out their latest project, Scream is coming to theaters, guys. I believe it's August 21st. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be awesome. I know down here we only have it in theaters for one day, as the following day it leaves our theaters, so it's going to be interesting.
What's that say? I can't see it.
Your background is crazy. Oh, thank you very much, man. Appreciate that.
It's horror. It's horrifying.
But yeah, Scream is going to be awesome. And for those of you guys who go and see Scream in theaters, there's a little surprise for you guys from the people who brought you the Terrifier, as David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown, for most of you guys who know him. He's going to show off his brand new movie. They're going to be a trailer for the movie Screamboat, which is the Mickey Mouse horror film that's coming out next year. The teaser trailer, guys, is attached to the Scream movie. So if you go and watch Scream in theaters on the 21st, you're going to get to see the teaser trailer for Screamboat, which is coming out next year. So if you guys are big David Howard Thornton fans and you're interested in seeing his next project, Screamboat trailer is attached to the Scream movie. That's kind of getting tongue twisted. Screamboat, it's all attached somehow. But yeah, it is coming.
You can always be scared of
next year. So that's David Howard Thornton's next project. But after that, his following project after that is the Terrifier 3, which we just learned today that the runtime will be shorter than the third film, although Damien Leone hasn't said exactly how short the new movie is going to be. He did say it's still going to be around 2 hours for the Terrifier 3, so I'm definitely excited to see what they do for Terrifier 3. It's been one of my favorite franchises. Art the Clown is definitely establishing himself as one of the top-tier slashers in the horror industry. Going with Jason, with Freddy, Michael Myers, Leatherface. He's basically made a name for himself in 2 previous films, looking to add upon his newfound legacy for David Howard Thornton for Art the Clown, who I would say has come out of the blue as like equal to Jason, Freddy, and Michael. So I'm intrigued with Damien Leone, what he does with it. Terrifier's been such a great franchise. Beetlejuice is coming in September 6th. It looks really good. Michael Keaton obviously is returning as Beetlejuice. Jenna Ortega's in that one. Looks awesome. It's got a great story. I'm definitely excited for that one. Michael Keaton said it's probably one of the best ones in the series, and he's excited to do more of them. So Beetlejuice is definitely on my highly anticipated for the horror industry for this year. Next year we got some bangers too. Next year we're going to have some good ones, as we finally have Final Destination 5 Bloodlines coming out next year. Tony Todd, I believe, will be part of that one, and that one is coming out next year in IMAX and in theaters. You don't want to miss that one if you're big fans of the Final Destination series.
So isn't it next year too?
Possibly. I know Saw's next year.
Oh, right.
Saw will be next year. We got Scream 7 next year, which is going to be awesome.
Hopefully. Awesome.
So many great horror movies next year to add upon what we had this year. This year wasn't a bad, it was a kind of a slow start for horror. There wasn't a lot of big movies that came out in the genre this year that were
so much big.
Anything.
It wasn't so much big, it was... Okay, instead of using the term big, there wasn't a lot of good ones. There were a lot of big ones, but they faltered. They farted in the horror industry. Like, the 3 major ones this year was... I'm not saying 1, 2, or 3, just the 3... In a Violent Nature, Maxine, and Longlegs was basically what horror should have been all year. We had so much a roller coaster ride, but horror fans, in the end of the year, we'll give you our best and worst. We've seen a lot of horror this year. Very thankful that Winnie the Pooh Button Honey 2 never came on any streaming service, saved us from another horrible film. One of my favorite, I think Beetlejuice, one of my anticipated horror films, because I'm a big Beetlejuice fan. Oh, Ghostbusters was this year, and I considered horror, so that was another good one. So we had 4, luckily. 5 will be Beetlejuice. 6 will be probably Terrifier. This is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll have at least 6 good ones to have on the good list. There won't be, excuse me, there won't be many. We're talking about sequels. I think one of the best sequels in horror. This is my own opinion. I mean, I don't know much about horror, so was the third Evil Dead film for me. That was a great. That's the first invitation to Evil Dead was that film. I know my friend laughs when I say it's one of my favorites. Army of Darkness. Think I didn't get corrected. Another sequel I liked was Final Destination 2. One another sequel I really enjoyed. I love the Final Destination series. I enjoyed The Conjuring 2, but I hated The Conjuring 3. My friend can contest to that.
I think everybody did.
Another sequel that was good. But then had 2 bad ones. Was Jaws 2 and 3 and 4. My friend would get so cartoony over those. He'll never like them. Another one that was bad was Halloween Ends. My friend can tell you that. He'll go animated for that one as well. It was not good. It was a female lead, ended at 1, but it was the way they ended it was just not how you do a Halloween movie. It made Halloween, I'm going to say it, Season of the Witch looks like a Golden Globe nominated film. Another horror film that I say sequel-wise that was good, at the time it was, I can't remember. It was, shoot. It was Nightmare on Elm Street 3. What was it called?
Dream Warriors.
Thank you. Dream Warriors. Another good one. I'm trying to think of horror, guys. Sorry, I'm
Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Thank you. Those are some of the ones I think were great. Creepshow 2, I would say is one of my favorites. Yes, I'm trying to think here, guys.
Creepshow 3 was bad.
I don't remember the third one at all, so I can't say.
Made for TV was garbage.
Oh, that's normal.
Another sequel that wasn't bad is the one picture went right behind us with Derek Mears with the actual 2009 Friday 13th.
Yeah, it's a sequel or a remake. What is it? It's a good film, yes. If we tackle, I'm sorry guys, I'm not much I'm into horror, but not as much as my friend over here. He's got 2 tattoos of them. I always say one is Jaws and he's got Robert England. Candyman 2 and 3, the originals, they were great. The rumor, I'm not gonna get in there. My friend will go get animated. Same with Nightmare on Elm Street remake. He'll go animated. My favorite horror movie of all time, like if I really had to say, it's not a slasher. It's The Birds. It's one of my all-time favorites. I've watched it religiously. Oh, and I like Ghostbusters horror comedy. Yes, and I love Ghostbusters 2. I loved Afterlife, Frozen Empire. So yes, Ghostbusters. So there's my favorite things. Alien 1 and 2. I forgot them. Boy, do I know my horror. No, I don't. Another horror one I really liked, it's a superhero horror, was Blade 2. They consider that horror, by the way. And it's a weird way of saying it. So horror is something that my friend and I bond on quite heavily. It got us something we both love. We've seen our shares and ups and downs. Another one I can say was, what's it called, Red Dragon?
Yeah.
That was good. That was another one I really liked. So there's me. I'm actually talking. I'm loud this time, guys. I won't be too loud, but I'm finally loud. So those are some. If I had to go remake, my favorite remake was probably the one with Tony Todd's. Night of the Living Dead, right? Night of the Living Dead. I had to make sure I was right. I want to make sure I'm right this time.
That was the one directed by Tom Savini.
Oh, there you go. When you learn something new every day. I'll give it right back to my friend. I've said my piece for horror, and I'm loud.
Probably my top ones. I don't know. It's hard to say. There's so many good ones. Obviously, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre for me is probably one of the most iconic horror films for a lot of different reasons. And as you can see over there, I have a cast sign photo of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It basically started the whole slasher genre. I think that should be the one that gets credit for the start.
But Texas was more of like a psychological kind of horror. It kind of messed with your mind.
True.
It was big for that.
Yeah, the one they considered the number one, the one that they considered that started the whole slasher genre was Psycho. I don't know.
Fair enough. There's been some good ones.
What's your favorite sequels? That's okay. And I know I've already said what your non-favorite sequels are. You're go animated about them.
Sequels, I'd probably say the 2013 Evil Dead I thought was actually really well done. I was one of the few people who actually enjoyed Evil Dead Rise, as I thought that was a fantastic movie. I thought it was very well done.
After the second showing.
After the second showing, yes, I had to see it twice, but I did love it. I did love it. I do enjoy it, and I do have it on 4K.
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser, the remake, I actually really enjoyed the 2022. Was it 2022?
Oh, my phone's charging.
I can't remember which year it was, but the
I think it
female-led
was.
one, I actually really enjoyed that, as that was more closely tied to the Hellbound Heart, which is the novel done by Clive Barker.
Oh.
So that's what kind of that was tied to. I know a lot of people hated on it because of the lead actress, but I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was decent. It wasn't terrible. Obviously, the 2003 remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was absolutely iconic. One of the best movies. Jessica Biel is fantastic in there. Andrew Bernarski as Leatherface. Also, Brett Wagner as Leatherface for the Kemper kill before he got heat stroke and he could no longer take on the role of Leatherface. Hence why he's known as the Lost Leatherface. And that's when basically Andrew Bernarski took over the role as Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre because Brett Wagner couldn't do it because he got heat stroke in the costume because it was too hot.
I think one of the worst sequels we ever. I'm talking to you when I'm saying that to get you talking. Remember the one of the worst sequels remakes we ever saw? I'm not talking about Candyman. I'm talking about that guy.
Oh, it's Chucky one, yeah.
Chucky.
Yeah,
Yes, Chucky 2010. I'll talk anyway. My friend doesn't want to. We went to theaters. We got to see MGM's take on Child's Play, and let's just say, I think we can agree. We statement together here is what did Mark Hamill, right?
Yeah.
Could make some right. It was robotically dumb. It was that and the Candyman remake because we got falsely advertised for Tony Todd. Another bad remake, Nightmare on Elm Street. As I'm not using the word because I am Special Needs. Special Needs Freddy. That's how I'll do it. 'Cause I am Special Needs as well. Another bad remake that we saw. I'm blanking because the Paris Hilton one. Why? It's so bad. I can't.
House of Wax.
The Fog remake was bad.
Oh yeah, Fog is terrible. The Mist is terrible. There's so many bad ones.
So we got to see now. We saw the bad ones. You guys do not have to, and we regret it badly.
But
I could go on about Jaws, but I don't have the animation that you do.
Jaws 1 and 2 are classic. Stay away from 3 and 4 as they're bad. But if you want 3 and 4, they are coming to 4K. You guys can pick them up.
Damn.
But they do actually, for those of you who are Elm Street fans, October 1st, they're bringing out the first ever 4K for Nightmare on Elm Street, which includes the uncut version, which there's really not much difference as the uncut version apparently has 8 seconds that weren't seen before that are added into the film.
Weird.
So it's an odd uncut version, but we are getting both the theatrical and the uncut version on the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K, which is coming out October 1st. And I know you're probably going to ask, did you pre-order it?
Yes.
Absolutely yes.
I will be myself soon.
I'm not going to leave out Elm Street on my 4K collection. It is one of my all-time favorite horror movies ever. So Nightmare on Elm Street is coming to 4K, guys. And I'm super excited.
Talk about... Oh, yeah. And Friday the 13th Part 2 is coming to 4K. And they did that so different.
Oh, yeah. It's stuck in a stupid box set that nobody wants.
What movies are with it?
The Paramount Scares box set, which includes Orphan First Kill, World War Z... Backdraft or something is included with it, and Friday the 13th Part 2. So if you're looking for the box set, I mean, it's something for you to get, but if you're only looking to get F-13 Part 2 like I am, fortunately, we're probably going to have to wait a little bit longer, probably maybe until later next year for it, I'm hoping, as they're going to maybe pull it aside from that box set, I hope. I know Italy is actually getting the 4K, which we should have gotten for Friday the 13th Part 2, instead of putting it in a stupid box set.
That made no sense.
That made no sense for us horror fans, but Italy's getting Part 2 of Friday the 13th, so good for them. I'm excited for you guys. Happy. It's a great movie. You'll enjoy it. Just sucks that we have to wait longer for that film, as it's been one of the ones that we've been waiting for to come to 4K that unfortunately we have to wait longer
because of stupidity.
unless we want to get this stupid box set that nobody wants to get, just to have one movie that we all want to get and get rid of every other movie that's included in that box set.
Another one coming up, I'm talking about finally. Another one to 4K is Gremlins 2, one of my favorite films. I know my friend thinks I'm nuts for liking it. It has one of my favorite wrestlers / Trumpers, Hulk Hogan, sadly, but I enjoyed it. I'll probably get it on 4K because that's what I was waiting on to get the first one. I have the first one on Blu-ray. It's one of my favorite films. And yes, I like the second one. My friend thinks it's nuts. Another one.
It's bad. Bad movie. Bad movie.
There you go. I got it animated for
It's
you
a
guys.
bad movie.
I don't even...
Watch Gremlins 1. Skip Gremlins 2. It is It's got no direction. It doesn't even have a story. It's the most stupidest Gremlins movie ever made.
There you guys go.
It doesn't even have freaking... What's his name there?
Yes, Howie Mandel's in the film. He is credit. He voices Gizmo again. He's in it. I got it animated, guys. If I had to really recommend one horror movie, I know it's rated G. Can't wait to show my friend this one. It's called 13 Ghosts from 1960. It's one of my favorite films. It's so different for that time. I know he has the 3D glasses. I can't wait to show you the film. It's really cool and nothing like the remake. There's a good remake, 13 Ghosts, with Matthew Lillard.
Yes, that one actually wasn't bad. Matthew Lillard and Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie fame.
Oh, I didn't know she was. I forgot she was in that.
She's in that one.
He's got the horror mind. I got I'm gonna say this. Yes, I am a big kid in heart. Scooby Doo was my first, technically very first take. The horror was Scooby Doo. Yes, people can laugh and call me nuts for that. Scooby Doo was my first ever intake to horror. But then when I met my best friend, the one you're seeing on screen, I got introduced to what horror really is, and I got an eye opener, and it hasn't come. And it definitely changed for the better. The guy you see on screen is the mastermind in horror. He knows everything you need to know about horror. The stuff you probably never knew that he does know. Like casting, like people who directed. Another remake he really didn't like, and it had Bullseye from Daredevil.
Oh, the Fright Night ones?
That's the one.
Yeah, those were garbage. They don't not even come close to the Tom Holland classic, which was the original Fright Night, which starred Amanda Bierce as Amy. Obviously, her big break was in that one. Chris Sheridan, I believe, was in that one as well. For those of you who don't know, Chris Sheridan was also in the original Child's Play.
Now, if you don't know who Tom Holland is, no, we're not talking about Spider-Man. We're talking about one of the best horror directors and minds. Child's Play, Fright Night, Help. I don't know anything else by him.
I think that's the only two big ones that he's done.
Okay, those are the two. Thank God. I didn't sound stupid for once. Another series we both like. Your friend has the puppets of them. Is Puppet Master. They've had some hit and misses, but if you want to try something different, that's a good different one. If you want to go really classic,
The Ghoulies.
That too.
They pop out of the toilet.
I always make fun of my friend. Thinks I have to get the plunger and get him out of there. If he's going to become a ghoulie. What other good horror ones are there that families could watch? With Ghoulies, I think it's not that scary. I don't remember the Ghoulies well.
I don't remember that one. A good one would probably be Five Nights at Freddy's, actually.
Yeah, I know that.
Because it is somewhat scary, but it is somewhat like kid friendly. It's not like overly gory.
Video game.
But it is actually really well done. Josh Hutchinson's fantastic in that movie. As well as Matthew Lillard plays a fantastic villain in that movie. It did well enough in the theaters actually to spin a sequel. And then the sequel for Five Nights at Freddy's, which I forgot to mention earlier, is coming next year, guys. So 2025, we get the sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's. So if you really enjoyed part 1, next year, guys, we'll get to see part 2. Another cool one that we get next year is The Black Phone, which I really, really, really enjoyed with Ethan Hawke. It was one of his best movies.
We're getting a sequel to that?
Yes, the sequel to The Black Phone is coming next year, 2025.
That's gonna be something. That's another one. Another one that we both enjoyed is from the Universal Monsters Creature from the Black Lagoon,
which is getting a remake
by
James Wan, who did the Conjuring franchise. Much other stuff, the terrible Aquaman that we do not talk about. So hopefully he can redeem himself from the Aquaman stuff, and it might be good. I don't know. It's such a classic movie that I don't want to see it fail because it is such a classic, and I know a lot of Universal fans, especially with the old school monsters, will hold this at a very high standard. So if this movie is any bit out of what it's supposed to be for horror fans, they're not going to like it.
You're gonna use practical. The guy's gonna be in the suit. I did find that out.
Well, that'll be hopefully better.
Another movie he didn't like, and I own on 4K, besides Charles Play, it's a Universal monster movie with Mr. Mission Impossible, The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
That was awful.
I was trying to have some fun.
The better one is the one with Brendan Fraser. Obviously, is the better one. And if you want to go really old school, the better one than that is the original one with Boris Karloff.
We can't forget the Scorpion King. They're technically no, it's not technically horror. Supposedly, it's more, but horror can be anything. Like what can I say? Like Vertigo's considered horror by Alfred Hitchcock. You want your mind?
What's going on, guys? We'll let you guys take over the floor for a little bit too. Ask some questions. Ask away. If you're going to see Alien Romulus, let us know.
Or
and if you have seen Alien Romulus, let us know what you think of it.
Or if there's any horror movies you guys like that you might think the Horror King here will enjoy, we will watch.
Probably the most fantastic sequel, I think. Because House of a Thousand Corpses didn't test really well. Rob Zombie originally, I don't think, wanted to do it. Or the studio didn't want to do it because they wanted him to do a ride or something for it. And whatever happened there. But he hated it. It was one of the movies that he absolutely hated. I kind of enjoyed House of a Thousand Corpses, but the follow-up to House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, is like a chef's kiss for horror fans. That was absolutely one of the best horror. It's one of the best horror series, I think.
Yeah,
with the Fireflies.
Because it was a story-driven series. It wasn't just all kills. It was telling a story of the franchise. And one of your favorite actors is in that.
Bill Moseley and Sid Haig.
That's what I was trying to go. Yeah,
Captain Spaulding. Unfortunately, Captain Spaulding passed away during the filming of the third movie.
But Richard Brake came in.
Brake came in and took over for him and actually did a really solid job filling in for Sid Haig at the time. Sid was still able to finish his scenes, obviously, for the film and for us fans. He was able to give us one last go of Captain Spaulding in the movie, which was awesome. They pay a nice little tribute to Captain Spaulding in Free from Hell, which I really enjoyed. That movie gets kind of criticized a lot, but
for one stupid thing.
I think they ran into a lot of issues, especially after Sid passed. Sid was supposed to have a larger role in that movie, and obviously that wasn't the case when they found out that he was sick and he couldn't do a lot of the stunts and stuff that they wanted him to be doing in the film that he just couldn't do. He just didn't have the strength to do it. So that's why you see him. It was limited to a smaller role in that franchise, and obviously everything changed when he passed away. And they went with, and Richard Brake kind of filled in for him. But I thought it was awesome. Richard Brake, obviously, was a standout performance in Rob Zombie's 31, which is a terrible movie. But Doomhead, Richard Brake was probably the best part of that movie. His character was awesome. I loved Richard Brake, actually, even in the Munsters movie that Rob Zombie did. He was one of the better standout parts of that movie. The story was kind of flat and fell apart. His wife's acting as the lead actress was bad.
It wasn't
Jeffrey Daniel Phillips as Herman Munster was horrendous. I don't want to relive that again.
That's the one that was most anticipated.
He is definitely not up to par with the original guy, which I forget what his name was.
I forget too at the moment.
We're blank and we're old.
This is live. Anything can happen during live or live, yada yada yada. Horror, like I said, now if there's any horror movies you guys have seen or you guys like that you think we might enjoy, let us know and we will give them a try and see what we think, because we're open to any suggestions, any ideas even for the channel, what you guys think we should work on, what we should bring to the channel. That's what we want. We want this to be a very open community with like I said, with the channel. We really want you guys to have, input's great. You guys said I was too soft today, so now I'm louder. I know I'm hitting again, but at least I'm louder.
Another bad one that's sitting right in front of me, the Toxic Avenger, which we never got to see. It tested really badly.
Supposedly it's not watchable.
Supposedly it's completely unwatchable. But I don't know how you do the Toxic Avenger with Peter Dinklage. Nothing against Peter Dinklage, but I just don't know how you could do the movie with him.
Because he's too short.
It also starred Elijah Wood, who is coming to Ottawa Comic Con. Obviously, I wouldn't get anything Toxic Avenger signed from him because that's a movie that we're probably more than likely never, ever, ever going to be seeing in our lifetimes, as it's probably not going to get distributed by anybody, and it won't be developed, it won't be put out, nothing's going to happen
developed,
with it.
it's just never, it would be stuck in a vault for the rest of its life.
Unless somebody wants to pull it out of there and bring it out, and who knows. I don't think it's going to do well. Even if they do bring it to us, I think it's going to fail.
It might be a short run.
Oh, God.
There. That's what I'm trying to see. Show you the guys when I see. What other good movies, horror-wise? Oh, my God. The Omen. There's one from this year that was a stinker.
Yeah, that was bad. Last Breath was bad. There's a few of them that were bad.
Last Breath was a shark's. I don't know much about sharks, but seeing a shark swim backwards was weird.
And it's not legit.
And seeing cold Kool-Aid for blood.
Yeah, that was bad. Obviously, Jaws is still the gold standard for shark movies, and it always will be for me. Nothing will compare to Jaws. Jaws is this gold standard. That's we hold new shark movies like where Jaws is, basically.
Well, one that came somewhat close to here was the one with
Deep Blue Sea, the original, was actually a really solid reboot one. It was actually really good.
Oh, Christ, I'm blanking.
Deep Blue Sea was right up there with Jaws, I think. It was fantastic, the first one.
You know what I'm talking about? We liked the first one, didn't like the second one.
The Meg?
The Meg, thank you.
Yeah, the Meg was okay. I'd put Deep Blue Sea ahead of the Meg,
well, you got those are probably the top 3 tiers of shark. Then there's Sharknado.
Yeah, that's just awful.
There was a Canadian one we watched that was local to us in Ottawa. It was good for what it was. I mean, it wasn't anything
awful.
But it was still good. It was local. We support local. We did.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, another sequel we forgot about. It was just all right. From Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, we forgot about that one too because that was terrible.
Yeah, it was all right. It had Matthew McConaughey.
Everything after basically the third one's actually solid. So anything after the third one kind of falters off for Texas
Don't forget
Chainsaw.
about the last one with the cell phones and the.
Oh yeah, the 2022 one. But if you guys want to meet Mark Burnham, who's the latest Leatherface, he'll be appearing at Frightmare in the Falls, guys.
If you're close to Frightmare.
October 25th to 27th if you're in the Niagara region.
And he's going on twice now. The man's nuts.
But I think that might be about it. I think we might just wrap her up.
Yeah, because I don't think many people are.
We're just ranting and rambling there.
Well, that's what we
sound
do.
like Rambling Rabbit there, for frig's sakes.
We're old.
Bray Wyatt reference, may rest in peace.
Well, put it this way. My friend wanted to do this, and I didn't know if we needed to. So this was our rambling horror show. So if you like it, let us know. If there's stuff we need to work on, let us know that too. And leave recommendations for horror movies you guys want us to watch in the comments, and we will get to them 100%. Because we like horror, because we like to get the scared out of us.
Alrighty, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you on the next one.